my name is Jennie Darby. I am an Irish dance teacher here at Scoil Bréifne, Ruairc. That's the name of the Irish dance school that I run with the Irish American Club of Berkshire County. So we're here at the Elks Lodge in Pittsfield, which is where we teach our classes 4 different days each week. And we teach classes to kids as young as about 3 all the way up to adults. Most of the kids range in age from around 6 to 13, 14 or so. We have all levels of kids, so they start out as beginners, and then as they learn steps and techniques, they learn new dances, and they move up in level. So a big part of our program is community performances, and we also compete. We usually travel to compete, but we also hold a competition that we host right here in this room in the fall. It was just last month this year. And when we perform, which is kind of the thing that more people participate in than traveling to competitions, we like to include all the levels of dancers, so even brand new beginners who just started. We like to get them comfortable on the stage and sharing how they're dancing with the community who's watching them. So that's such an important part of our program that last year we went through a fundraising period, and we raised almost $10,000 to get a group of our dancers. We took 8 dancers to Ireland last summer, and we were there alongside the Pittsfield Irish Sister City Committee. Pittsfield is a sister city with a town in Ireland called Ballina. It's in County Mayo, and throughout the years of the Sister City Partnership, there have been visits back and forth between the Pittsfield contingent and the Ballina contingent. And so this past summer, there was a really, really large group from Pittsfield going to visit Ballina, and that was to celebrate the 25th anniversary of that kind of Sister City Partnership. And so we decided it would be a great time to bring the dancers along, and they got to perform over several days during our trip. In Ballina, at the time that we were there, they have something called a Heritage Festival. So it's the heritage of the town of Ballina, and we got to participate in these huge performances. It was so much fun to have our dancers just in the middle of a really busy street in Ireland, sharing what we do here with the people who live where our dancing came from. It was really, really an incredible moment for us. So our school is called Scoil Bréifne Ruairc. That's Irish for the dance school, Bréifne Ruairc. So Scoil is school, Rince means dance, and Bréifne Ruairc comes from my heritage. My maiden name is O'Rourke, and Bréifne is the ancient kingdom where the O'Rourkes lived long ago in Ireland. And so that's why we call our school what we do. It sounds like it's hard to pronounce. It's really not. You can look it up on our website. And so in a typical class, like a beginner class, we usually start with warming up the dancers. So they need to get their body moving, because if you've ever seen Irish dancing, it's very aerobic kind of activity, lots of jumping, and we really need our body to be warmed up when we do that. So they do a nice warm-up, get their joints moving, and then they usually start with some drills. So the technique that goes along with Irish dancing is really important, where you place your feet, how you lift your legs. It's all very specific, and we teach the beginners how to do that from the very beginning of their lessons. And so they do drills to kind of get some muscle memory going with their new steps. They start with the basic steps and kind of like move up as they gain proficiency with the more basic steps. And then as they're done with their drills in their class, they'll move on to learning or practicing, if they've already learned them, some steps where they put the little pieces that we learn in the drills, they put the steps together. And then they put it together with the music, and that becomes the dancing that you see. So they take breaks throughout the class because, like I said, it's very aerobic, lots of jumping around. They need water, so they take breaks to drink water, and they socialize a bit because they're kids, but also because Irish dancing is a social activity, and it's such a big part of it that they're all good friends, and I like to encourage that because it makes them happy to come to class. So when I started dancing with a ballet school, actually, I did not start dancing with Irish dancing, and I was much younger, probably around 4 or 5 years old. And it wasn't until I was about 12 that I started doing Irish dancing. And at that time, we had a teacher that was from Ireland living here in Pittsfield, and she was teaching classes with the Irish American Club of Berkshire County, which is where I teach now. So that's really cool that we've come full circle. So I danced with her for a couple of years, and she ended up moving back to Ireland. And so I didn't dance for a while until I was back in college. And I went to college in Albany, where there happened to be a teacher who was just a couple blocks away from the apartment where I was. And so I took up lessons again with him, and I started teaching with him too. So that is kind of the way that a lot of Irish dance classes go, is that we help each other. So teaching one another is a very natural thing that happens. You don't have to be like this special, perfect, really talented dancer to be the one teaching. It's just something that you share with one another, and that's kind of how I became comfortable teaching. So I would help him teach his classes. He would travel here to Pittsfield and teach a class, and I would help him with that as well. And then, so as I was kind of getting through college, I started teaching an Irish dance class for really brand new beginners at the ballet school where I had started dancing when I was a really little kid. And so that was really nice to bring Irish dancing to kind of a new group of people who hadn't seen it before. When I graduated from college after a few years, some of my students ended up taking over that class at the ballet school, and I moved away to New Jersey. And so I started dancing with a different school there. We competed, and we traveled all over the country. We even got to dance in Ireland one year. And then when I started, I had married my husband just before we moved to New Jersey, and we started having children. We came back home to Pittsfield. We've been here ever since. So in some of our more advanced classes, we have dancers, they still need to go through their warm-up and their drills, but then they're usually learning a lot more material. So Irish dancers typically have a really, really broad repertoire of dances that they can just kind of pull out of a hat at any time. And so it takes a lot of practice and repetition for them to develop that. And they also have to work on their technique as well. It still remains very important to go back to the basics of foot placement and where you move your legs, and the flexibility also. So they have to work on drills, just they would be more advanced drills than the beginners do. And then I usually give them instruction in which little piece of a dance they need to work on. So sometimes that is improving their footwork or learning new footwork, and sometimes it has to do with their technique. And so I'll watch them dance, and then I'll pick one little bit for them to work on, and I'll send them off on their own to work. Sometimes they work in pairs or small groups, and sometimes they work alone. And then I'll go through everybody like that, assessing skills and checking to see what they need to do. And then we typically, one thing I haven't talked about yet is that we dance in two types of shoes, soft shoes and hard shoes. And the beginners would only start out in the soft shoes, and then once they kind of gain some strength and technique, then they can get their hard shoes. It's usually something that they earn, so they have to demonstrate specific skills. And then I tell them, all right, you can go get your hard shoes, and it's a really big moment for them, very exciting. And then they start learning that hard shoe material, which is much more incorporated into that more advanced class. So Scoil Bréifne Ruairc has been open. This is our third year, so it'll be 3 years next July. And we started out with a group probably around 30 dancers, and right now we're a little bit more than double that. And so it's really exciting how we've grown through the years. I think one of the things that shows me the most how we've grown is at the end of the year we have something called a spring dinner dance. So we bring all of the families in. We actually do it here in this room. We bring everybody in. The kids all do a short performance for them, and then we have a dinner. And it's kind of like a banquet style. It's really nice because we get to recognize each of the kids. But I can tell how we've grown because the first year we were fairly comfortable fitting in this room. And then this past year, we were like bursting at the seams. There were just so many people in these dancers' families who wanted to come see them. A lot of the kids are here because they really love dancing, and they love sharing their dancing with other people. And so we've been talking a little bit about how important performing is, and the kind of aspect of sharing with our community. And I think that's what I see with the dancers who stick with it for the longest, is that they really love the aspect of being able to share this with one another and with people who they don't even know. So our mission that we actually say on our website is to inspire the love of Irish dance in everyone that we meet. And so that's what I try to do with all the kids. And I feel like I'm a success if the kids feel like that too, and that they want to also make everyone that they meet love Irish dancing too. Thanks for coming to our show. My name is Jennie Darby, and this is Scoil Bréifne Ruairc. You can find us teaching 4 days a week here at the Elks Lodge in Pittsfield. You can find out more information about our program at our website, irishdanceberks.com. So just Irish Dance, BERKS, like Berkshire.com. Or you can give me a call at 413-684-8176. And thanks so much for coming.